to welcome all of you to the 2013 Mount Carmel Honors Banquet, especially those seniors and their parents here for the fourth and final time. First off, I would like to personally thank all those who organized this event. You did a wonderful job. The only reason I'm speaking to all of you today is because of my parents, Ron and Kathy Pavlik. I wouldn't have made it this far without you. Thanks, Mom and Dad. On behalf of all the seniors, I'd also like to thank Father Peter and Father Marlin, along with Father Tony and the rest of the Carmelites, and Mr. Stimler, along with the rest of the faculty, for such an amazing experience. Lastly, the rest of the senior football players and I would like to thank Coach Frank and Dave Lunty with the rest of the Mount Carmel coaching staff for providing us with such an amazing 4 years, topped off with the Class 8A state championship. Before I start reminiscing, I'd like to congratulate Coach E on being selected as a prestigious gold medal teacher. You really deserve it. You're really one amazing teacher and coach. A Mount Carmel experience isn't like any other. This experience is made by the teachers and how much they really, truly care about us not only learning, but having fun doing it. In freshman English, I was asked by Coach Anto if I could be a sandwich, what kind of sandwich would I be? The answer was simple enough, a plain roast beef sandwich. Therefore, he said I was a man of action and not words. Then came the Bass, the River, and Sheila Mant, where we learned that there are all types of double entendres. You just have to be willing to use your imagination. I would like to sincerely apologize to those with Mr. Klein for biology after us. It was our class who brought on the 10 pages front and back of I Will Not Shoot Them to class. In Coach Nick's class, while we taught ourselves geometry, he taught us baseball call. Although we had all this fun, we received shocking news at the beginning of the year. Steve Bajensky died. It made us realize that life's a lot bigger than freshman year of high school. A lot of us didn't know Steve, but we knew a lot of the older students that did. When the school really came together in support of the Bajensky family, us freshmen got to see how true men of Carmel come to each other's aid. Sophomore year also started with a tragedy. We lost one of our own. The bright, energetic, and charismatic boy that was Cody Gibson died. This was a really tough time for us because we all knew and liked Cody very well. However, we were able to pull each other together and show support for the Gibson family. As sophomore year continued, Mr. Daly assigned writing assignments of 100 times of I Will Not Make Fun of Mr. Daly's age. When we would ask him if he remembered exactly where he was when Julius Caesar died. In Mr. Zabucki's class, Garrett Beckman would have to say goodbye to the wall every day before we could leave. Mrs. Whitaker was such a great math teacher at preparing us for the future. Coach Martin is loved by every senior. The knowledge he has about everything involving history is amazing. He can tell you about anything. He is truly one of a kind. Again, junior year started with tragedy. Kevin Kennelly passed away in the summer. As before, we banded together to mourn the loss of a friend and came out stronger because of it. We made a great effort to keep on keeping on, as was Kevin's favorite quote. When junior year continued, it turned out to be the hardest year. But the teachers did their best to make it enjoyable. In Coach Enright's AP US history class, we learned about how the Puritans weren't so pure. I don't think I've ever laughed so much and worked so hard in my life. Coach E started his reign as our physics teacher. If you ask around on how to describe Coach, most of the responses are going to be something along the lines of a fat, jolly old man like Santa Claus. The honors kids met our new counselor, Mr. Ivan Brown. He has been such a great help in preparing us for college. None of us would be where we are today without him. Those of you who didn't have Mr. Herster definitely missed out. We all look forward to our daily discussions, on pretty much anything under the sun, including most of our love lives. Mr. Herster taught us the most important lesson in my life. Things are only as we perceive them. I again had Miss Whitaker for math, and she enlightened us on one of the truest quotes I've ever heard. Life's hard, and we die. So you've got to make sure you have fun along the way. Senior year came way too fast. Taking the entrance exam seemed like it was only yesterday. When physics with Coach E became extremely difficult to the senior class, we began to play more with Watch Bear, a life-size polar bear, and Bert, a little hippo, in order to relieve our stress. Mr. Haggerty's class brought us constant question of whose fault it was when we did well or poorly. It's safe to say that yes, Mr. Haggerty, it is still your fault. In Don Barry's AP Latin 4 class, he enlightened us on his theory on what happens in Mount Carmel over the 4 years. You come to Carmel as a boy, and you leave as a freaking idiot. With the leadership of Connor Griffin, Draco Smith, Don Buckets, Jason Gasser, and DJ Romero, we were able to bring home the Class 8A state championship for the first time in 10 years. The support we had at the football games was the best I've ever seen it. Against St. Rita, Connor McGarry, Ty Patterson, Emmett Doyle, Dylan Clouda, and Justin Gallagher led the cheering section by painting their chests in 30-degree weather, chanting everything from Pavlik punts to Mr. Hansen. Some overzealous students even stormed the field at Nico Valley in our semi-state win. The band director of our new band, Mr. Keeley, brought a ton of energy and support to the football games as well, along with doing a great job with the band. Individual senior athletes have also done amazing things on the playing field over the past 4 years. Jerry Houston, a 4-year starter on the baseball team, will be playing at Oregon. Draco Smith, a 3-year starter running back, will be playing at Northern Illinois. Jeremy Kravitz will play at Kansas. Connor Griffin at Augustana College. Jim Regan at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. Brian Parker at Carleton College. And Bill Berry at Loras College. Our video coordinator, Roy DeNovo, will be continuing his football duties at Central Michigan University. The Caravan Alley players also did an amazing job with the Blake Taste this year. Joey Casasano, Connor Seeloff, Josh Thorpes, Matt Gomez, Jacoby Terry, Kevin Smith, and Garrett and Kenny Beckman were the seniors that really made the show run well. I know it was my favorite of the recent plays. Padre inspired some of these actors to go on and study drama and production in college. Joey Casasano and Connor Seeloff will be studying film at Columbia University in Chicago, and Josh Thorpes will be studying stage production at the School of the Arts in Philadelphia. Many of the students in the senior class will be attending prestigious universities this upcoming fall. This is attributed to their relentless work in the classroom. I'd like to recognize a few. Buster Sheridan and Justin Gallagher will be attending none other than the University of Notre Dame. Ryan Fleming will be attending Northwestern University. Dylan Clouda will be heading east to join a previous valedictorian, Kevin Carey, at Boston College. And Anthony Madison received a full tuition posse scholarship to the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Finally, Justin Sanchez will be attending one of the best universities in the world, Wesleyan University. Coming to Mount Carmel wasn't easy. I think we can all agree on that. After freshman year, a lot of kids transferred. Mount Carmel wasn't for everybody. Oftentimes when kids transferred, they would tell us later that they wish they hadn't. Traveling so far every day isn't for everybody. Guys like Elliot Sheevey from Palos Park, Mark Crowell from Lamont, Brendan Dwyer from Lockport, Justin Sanchez from Humboldt Park, and myself from Chesterton, Indiana, have traveled far enough to and from school over the past 4 years to circumnavigate the globe twice. We have sat in the car traveling for about 64 days during our time in Mount Carmel. Those kids that chose the easy path, by going to their local high schools, spend only about 3 days traveling. Hardly anyone travels less than a half an hour to school each day, but that's what makes the senior class so special. We don't do the easy thing. This is what defines us. I'll be the first to admit it. The administration is right. We're not the smartest class or the hardest working, but the brotherhood we share is something else. I look around and see people like Connor Griffin and Jim Regan, Armani Esters and Marcus Banks, Brendan Dwyer and Eric Lumberg, and Nick Chambers and the Beckman twins that will be friends for a lifetime. I believe it is greater than any other class that has graduated from Carmel. I guess I'll finish by saying that Mount Carmel is my home away from home, that is. People often ask me, how do you like Carmel? My response is always, it's the best decision that I've ever made. It wasn't always easy because it wasn't always like that because it wasn't always easy. But Mount Carmel really grows on you. For those who stick it out, truly become not only men, but men of Carmel. Thank you.
The Keller Car Pool was added again. You have Jay Keller, better known as the Prince of Worth or Colonel Sanders, in the driver's seat, Ryan Cheeks Fleming riding shotgun, myself and Dan Nick in the back seat, and Brendan Fleming in the trunk, his rightful place. As I awaited Keller's arrival in front of my house at 7:30 a.m., I knew that he slept in and we were going to be late. As it turns out, he had a dentist appointment and forgot to mention it to me. So there I was, it was 8:20, and he showed up. Where were you? I said to him. My bad, he responded, but I'm hungry and we're going to Beloit's for breakfast. So we made the trek to 53rd Street, a few blocks past Mount Carmel, and we sat down and feasted on some pancakes while our classmates were at school. About 15 seconds after beginning our meal, Jake lifted his head. Is that Father Tony? He whispered to us. Our stomachs sank. Father Tony was seated by the window. We hid the rest of breakfast, but there was no escape. As he walked out of the restaurant, he noticed us ducking our heads eating in silence. Well, he said. What time is it right now? Yes, about 9:30. We shuddered, nervous as can be. You have 10 minutes to get to school. Don't let me get there before you. We sprinted from our chairs, ran to the car, and hurried to school, where we suffered the consequences. We have a staff that knows how our strange masculine mind works, and they know how to handle shenanigans, as Father Tony exemplified. Senioritis affects the entire class, and this story gives a small glimpse of the character of the class of 2013. We are hardworking, courageous, we take risks, and we know how to make every day enjoyable at Mount Carmel. I would like to thank all of you in attendance at tonight's banquet. The people in this room mean so much to me. To my extended family here for me today, Papa, Grammy, Grandma Sue, my great Uncle Vince, emphasis on great, my cousins, aunts, uncles, and the Mount Carmel community. My journey through Mount Carmel began with freshman year. Freshman year began with an introduction to English and Coach Antonetti. He was intense and fun from day one. When he asked the famous question, "What kind of sandwich are you?" I said peanut butter. His conclusion that I was straightforward, but I was dependable and got things done. Coach Nolan ran his freshman geography classes and liked the despot. But after a few weeks, he seemed more enlightened than anything else. My first year of Spanish was new to me because I had never taken it before, but Mr. Piguki was able to spark my interest in the language, and he helped me get better and better. Coach Nick taught me geometry and really hammered home the theorem CP, CT, C. We all entered the building freshman year, not really knowing what to expect. We quickly made friendships in the classroom and out on the field. Some people transferred, but this select group of seniors stayed, chose to enjoy the ride, and succeed to this point today. Freshman year had its unexpected hardships for not only our class, but the whole Mount Carmel family. Philosopher Stephen Jensky showed us how the Mount Carmel community came together, fed off each other's strength and faith to overcome tragedy. Sophomore year, Mr. Spelke brought me into the world of chemistry. while at the same time he took great pleasure in calling me a long snapper. A little creepy. I would like to inform him that although I enjoyed every bit of my time with him, I would rather not snap him. Mrs. Whitaker greeted me in math class as Sweet Angel Boy and really helped me develop my math skills to where they are today. I will always remember when you told me about the kid who stared at his hand all class. Excuse me. Coach Marvin was my first AP teacher, and he made history likable for me and also got me in my first passing grade on an AP test. He is truly a great man. Our faith was challenged sophomore year again with the loss of Cody Gibson, but I watched as people who knew Cody and people who didn't gathered at his funeral services and bolstered the mourning family. When one is down, we are all down, and we fight to get out together. Junior year started off rough for a lot of us, again. An early tragic death hit us again with the loss of my friend Kevin Canali. Though Kevin was in my older brother's class, I had spent time with him playing baseball summers and loved his one-liners. Kevin was a top caliber kid with a lot of energy and a great sense of humor. I remember how he loved baseball and how lanky he looked when he pitched for my summer baseball team in Pavlik. His personality made everyone love him. Despite this tragedy, the Canali family continues as an active part of the Mount Carmel community. As it continued, junior year shaped up to be one of the toughest, but most rewarding. I coached on right for AP US History, and although we slaved over things like the beasts, we also made the tradition of writing random, strange comments on the tests, something only our class can say. AP English, we had Coach Herster, the great guy whose class consisted of deep discussion about anything you could think of. He made us all smarter just by speaking, and he turned Cool Hand Luke into a movie full of metaphors and subliminal messages. I started my 2-year career in Mr. Moda's Spanish class and loved every bit of it. I also began my first year of physics with Coach E, who really made me love the subject and want to continue in the future. I would like to thank him for not killing my dog, because if he did, I would do even stranger things to Bert and Watch Bear than Pavlik does. He knows what I'm talking about. I missed Chicago for my last year of studium as a junior, and I really missed winning Caravan Day with her. We were a force to be reckoned with. Now for this year, the final year. I have built friendships that will last a lifetime. I have witnessed the camaraderie around me as well. After 4 years of self-discipline and hard work, our football team won the state championship. Thank you, Coach Frank, Coach Dave, Coach Campbell's, and the rest of the coaching staff for making that dream come true. We made it a we thing, not a me thing, and we came out on top. I'll still be living the glory when I'm old and whining about arthritis like Mr. Daly does. Our teammate, Ronan Flaherty, not only won the state championship, but also won the battle against cancer. Round of applause. I know that all faculty members will miss their little buddy. I watched as kids like Jay Keller, Garrett Beckman, and many others would go to the hospital to visit Ronan and entertain him. Ronan didn't lose any sense of humor through this battle, and his attitude is something I will always greatly respect. In class, the senior class worked hard and made our way to this banquet today, something we should all be very proud of. There are other faculty members I have to mention. Mr. Eisenbraun, whose help I couldn't have done without the last 2 years. His countless hours helping with the college process. He, along with Miss McKay and Mrs. O'Connor, do so much for us in our college preparation, and they are a great resource for any counseling. Also, there's Mr. Doheny, who, let's face it, is probably one of the sweetest people on this earth. We've had new faculty members step in, 3 of which I'd like to recognize. We have Coach Seagroves, who, after working so many years as a freshman football coach, is now working in our building, and we are lucky to have him. Although he's the pride of Bogan, I don't know a man who loves Mount Carmel more. Our 57-0 win against Providence freshman year will always stick with me. It was a goal to honor deceased Mount Carmel Hall of Famer Kevin Donnelly. Everyone had a chance to contribute on the field that day, and we still reached our goal. Ms. Haysbrook stepped in as my student teacher this year. She helped grade my college essays and was a real help. What a great addition to the school. Then I would lastly like to mention Coach Sortle. He did a great job with the hockey team, stepping in as a new coach, and he was also a great new teacher. Although I never had him, I got to know him in little random settings. And I would like to let him know that if he was ever in trouble, I'd slip someone a $20 bill for him any day. I don't believe there could be a group of more passionate, driven people than the students we are surrounded by every day. I would be negligent if I didn't thank my family. Starting with my older brother, Quinn. We were roommates from birth until he left for school. We talked through football games, baseball, and most importantly, tons of nonsense. A good example of this nonsense is how I always jokingly called him ugly, and then he was quick to remind me that I look just like him. Quinn is the perfect older brother. His calm demeanor and the way he treats everyone he comes into contact with paved the path for me through school and sports I can't deny. From Little League through the varsity-based football, I love the times I spent with him on the field and in sports. Winning our 5th and 6th grade football championship together, playing travel baseball all the way to our last game of the year, and together winning the Prep Bowl at Soldier Field. I took the number 80 this year in football because of how much I look up to you. I look forward to meeting at the cottage for little academic trips the next 4 years. How convenient it is that it's just located 30 minutes from Notre Dame and 35 minutes from Western Michigan. Mary Rose, keep your sharp wit and keep reading. I always like to think of you as my clone, but a girl. When someone crosses you, turn those ice blue eyes on them, and they will get back in mine. We call her Storm when she gets mad, like the X-Men character. Next year, be sure to enjoy our room. Those queen-size beds are great. Betsy, keep an eye on the house. You're the boss. Find Dad's keys and the TV remotes. Make sure you keep all carpools on schedule. Keep our room clean too, because I know Mary won't. Both of you watch Rudy. Someone will have to take over antagonizing him while I'm at school. Dad, do a court gesture that will always keep me smiling, and then you are the executioner when I get out of line. What a great combination. You have shown me what true success is by persevering and showing that good old Irish resilience your whole life. Whether it's coaching my teams in sports, giving me advice, or just making fun of people on TV shows, I love every second of my time with you. Philip from Survivor literally is so strange that it scares me. Mom, the truth is, I could write a whole speech just for you. The way you take care of all of us is second to none. My flakiness will probably catch up with me a little next year without you around. You told me organization that I'm going to need. You slaved over financial forms for both of us to the point the other families in the neighborhood had to call you for advice. Walking up in the fashion show was great this year, Mom. Your support after every game, test, or life issue was flawless. I will miss you so much next year. Please visit often with Dad. Let's face it, I'll end up in some kind of trouble if he comes alone. To the underclassmen in this room, it's my challenge to you to add even more to the reputation this school has. Overcome adversity at any cost, run that extra mile, and stay awake just one more hour studying. Mount Carmel has a recipe for breeding success, and they do it very well. Follow the process in everything you do, and you will be successful. I am very blessed to be standing before you today because this class of 2013 is full of hardworking and successful young men. You have Justin Gallagher joining me at Notre Dame, Ryan Fleming, my friend since preschool, is headed to Northwestern, Eric Lumberg moves on to the University of Wisconsin-Madison next year, Dylan Flauta is headed out east to Boston College, and technically Dylan, you will be my arch enemy to be in Justin for the next 4 years. Then we have outstanding student athletes. Justin Sanchez is going to play football at Wesleyan University. Draco Smith out of Northern Illinois. Joey Pavlik out of the St. Xavier University. And Vincent are going to Eastern Illinois. I swear the list of success stories might as well be the whole class, but we have school tomorrow, so God forbid I mention everyone. I wish all my classmates the best in life. I hope our paths cross often. We no longer have Mount Carmel around us every day, so let's show the world what Mount Carmel represents. Before I finish, I again would like to thank the Carmelites, Father Tony, Mr. Haggerty, Mr. Stimler, and Mrs. Mangiati, and all of you here. You are the backbone of Mount Carmel. I would like to finish with a quote from the movie Pursuit of Happiness that I think describes the individuals of this class. I'm the type of guy that when you ask me something I don't know, I'll tell you I don't know. But I will use everything in my power to find you an answer. Let's go get the answers, boys. Thank you for letting me represent such a great group of men. Let's do this once and do it right. Our Lady of Mount Carmel. Thank you.